Hey, welcome back to my channel. This video I want to talk a little bit about my current 50 head challenge. The 50 head challenge was originally created by Ahmed Al-Dori, and I started this challenge 2 weeks ago. The 50 head challenge is usually about drawing or painting 50 heads in 10 days. But I decided this time I will not crunch them into 10 days. I decided to paint every single head as good as I can to learn from every single head. And I want to explain a little bit why I'm doing it. So basically the last time when I did the 100 heads challenge, I did this challenge in 10 days, but I did them only with pencil and I did them in my sketchbook. When I saw Ahmed's video on YouTube where he painted those heads in Photoshop, I was like, maybe I can also paint all my heads. The problem here is basically that time-wise, this takes way more time, and doing this in Photoshop means that you have to sit in front of your PC like way more and way longer. And having a full-time job besides that makes it a little bit difficult. So I decided not to do them in 10 days. I decided, okay, you know what, I will do them in 3 months, or I do them as long as I need to do them, because at the end it's about learning and it's not about like crunching through 10 days to get them done, because I did this last time and I learned a lot, but this time I really focus on painting because I feel like I'm not good enough in painting skin tones and painting faces, and I want to really focus on that. Besides that, I also created my own Pinterest board about portraits I like from old masters to analyze how they tackled portrait painting and also to emulate maybe some habits of them, like using bold brush strokes and try to make the head or the portrait work from far and not to go too much into detail, like Sargent, for example. And this is not as easy as it sounds. I realized that very quick. Also, my last head, number 5, was way harder than the first 4 heads. And this was basically because I did not spend enough time before to analyze the reference and also to plan how to lock in the right values, the right shapes, and the right colors from the beginning. So as you can see, I just try to lay in my tones and also my colors in a very broad approach. Also to only take one value to basically lay out all the other separation from light to shadow, that I have a good start. And yeah, and that's actually it. So the plan right now is to do all the 50 heads in the next couple of weeks, I guess. I think this will take me at least until January or February. And I really want to learn from every single head, which also means that I have to look at every head before. And that's also why I decided to record all the heads and upload them to YouTube. So I basically do this, of course, for you guys, but I also do it for myself to document my approach and to see my mistakes, basically, because I realized like having it on video and seeing me painting helps so much to see what I do wrong or where I do maybe take a different step, a different path on the way to the finished painting. Of course, I can absolutely recommend the challenge to you. I think this is gonna be tough also to stay, I wouldn't say motivated, but stay on focus to really improve on every head. But I think after head number 50, I will definitely see the learning curve, and I'm super excited for this, and I just have to take this energy and to canalize it on every single head. Yeah, so that was basically the update on the challenge. And now let's talk a little bit about this head. So as you saw at the beginning, I started with a sketch, with the construction of the head, which I always take my time for, because what I usually don't want is fixing facial issues, facial mistakes later on in a painting stage. It's not that bad or something, but I just try to avoid it. And then after finishing the sketch, I basically created a new layer, blocked in the silhouette of the head with a simple tone. And then I use a clipping mask, which is basically another layer, and then pressing Alt to clip this layer to the one below. And then I started to block in the basic tones. And this time I used a brush I made myself, which is a bristle brush, which emulates a normal bristle brush, like the name is saying. But I also added some color dynamics, which was pretty cool. Because I took a tone, and when you press it on, you have this little color variation every time you use it. And I felt like this would work pretty well on this head. You also maybe see this little notes popping up all the time. I took this because I received a message from somebody who asked for subtitles or like description. And I did not ask why, but I thought like, okay, well, this person cannot hear or something. So I just decided to add those little notes on every single video. Yeah, and after blocking in everything, all the midtones, I started to adding the brighter tones, the highlights, and I really wanted to have this glow effect the reference has on the skin surface. And I really enjoyed it, making those highlight tones, because I feel like this gives this juiciness to the skin tone. But you can also make this too much and then it looks weird. So it's definitely a very subtle thing to work in. I also have, like, when you see the lower part of the head, I had this brush strokes visible, and I actually wanted to keep them. So my plan for this head was actually to do the part around the eyes, the nose and the mouth a little bit more detailed, and everything else only indicated. Also the hair, I think to the end I will not work much on the hair. The hair is basically just like one single tone with a little brighter tone in between, and that's basically it. And it works from far, and that's also totally fine for me, because I don't want to spend all my time on rendering the hair. I could, but at the moment I did not felt this is a necessary thing to do. If you maybe decided to join the challenge, of course, you don't need to paint the heads, you can also draw them in your sketchbook. And also make sure that you tag the posts on Instagram if you post them with Matt's 50 Heads challenge. Also at some point, what I like to do is when I have more layers, I just mark on my layers, and then I press Ctrl J to duplicate them, and then I merge them on one layer. So when I have my color picker, for example, I can pick always from the current layer, and also sometimes I can use the Storm tool, for example, which is super helpful. Also, please feel free to subscribe to my channel and click the like button if you like the video. Also, feel free to activate the bell to get notification when I upload the next one, just in case you're interested in this. And also feel free to watch the other heads I did already. I feel that it's really interesting for me to see the curve already from the first head to this one. There's already an improvement, which I can see and I can also feel. And also there's improvement of confidence, because at the beginning I was always had this voice in my head like, oh, you suck at this, you suck at this. And at some point when you do this like 10 times or 20 times and you really try to focus on it and try to get better, then you eventually will get better and you get more confidence in doing this. And that was actually the plan. So I already have a benefit from this whole challenge. Also at this point, this is mostly about refining, a little bit of blending, and deciding where do I want to have my detail part and where I have my part where the eye can rest, where I have not so much information. So I will stop talking now and you can enjoy the rest of the video. And yeah, I hope you like this kind of content and you maybe try this challenge yourself. Please let me know in the comments if you have any questions, thoughts or concerns. And if you join the challenge, please also tag me on your social media so I can see your progress, and I'm super curious about this stuff. So yeah, please feel free and enjoy the rest of the video. See you in my next one. And here we have the final head. I hope you enjoyed this video and this was helpful for you. Feel free to check out the other heads and see you in my next video. Bye bye.